Good morning. How you doing? CitizenAY here. I know it's been a while. It's been a minute. I've been blocked for a long time by Facebook. Obviously, there's been some sort of connection between what's going on the ground in Nigeria and my being blocked on my platform, on the CitizenAY platform. So it's okay. I'm not too worried about that. The fact is, we are speaking truth to power, and many people don't like it on ground in Nigeria. I'm sure by now you all know that I have also been told, myself and many other people, I've been personally told that I can't go back to Nigeria because if I go to Cotonou or go to MMA, Murtala Muhammad Airport. By the way, I have an issue with the name of that being called that in any case. But that's another story which I will go into much later on. There's a lot of consciousness that we're not aware of. We're very unconscious in accepting things that are just terrible. But let's just state for here, as we're speaking right now, I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit. Yeah. As we speak right now, one of the things that I want us to be aware of is that we are being silenced and we are being oppressed continuously. So we need to address that issue head on. It has to be addressed head on. It has to be addressed head on. And I want us all to absolutely remain focused on speaking truth to power. There's a number of issues I want to talk about that I will talk about later on today when I come online. What is money? Yes, what's money? I want to try and go into a bit of a background about this idea of money. And I will take us down memory lane. Many of us are not aware. Even our youth today, this idea of what you call money and who controls it. Many of us are not aware of that. We have all these singers who are singing about money. Oh, whoa, Eli. They're doing all this. But what is money and who controls it? And who's in charge of it? And who tells you how much your money is worth? Particularly in Africa. Who tells you all this? Who prints the money for you? Who prints the money for you? Yes, I will be talking about that later on. Many African countries are in this same unconscious mode of just saying, oh, I've heard about money. There's lack of understanding of what money is and how it's actually destroying our own communities and the things that we need to begin to look at. So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about the fact that they've now removed, African Union has removed Dr. Arikana Chombori Kwao from being the ambassador to the US, to the United States, because they feel afraid of what she's saying in terms of exposing the lies of the colonial masters, the former colonial masters that are still there. We're still enslaved in Africa. Many are not aware of this. And she was speaking truth to power. Now, the current president has now given her, she's literally summarily sacked her. So I'll talk about that. I will go into detail about the summary sacking of her, of Dr. Arikana Chombori Kwao, who was championing all things African, and we mustn't be silent. Now, there's a petition ongoing. I'd like you all to sign that petition. It's on my own personal page, and I'd like you all to go there and sign it. And of course, I'm talking about Showore. I have a number of issues with what is going on. Yes, we are raising money now, and with the money is being raised to try and provide legal means so that I can support, so we can continue to, provide support from him, from Falano and others, which is great. But the truth of the matter remains that we mustn't allow this government to completely ignore rule of law. Judge Taiwo said that all Showore needed to do was provide his passport. He will not be leaving the country, and that's what should happen. That's the first judgment. This government has ignored that judgment and just brought in something asking to pay for 200 and something million naira himself and mandate. I mean, we are in a military era, so we mustn't be quiet. And of course, finally, what I wanted to talk about was the issue of the patriotism, so-called patriotism of our leaders. The governor of a state Kudos to that governor. I think I remember. He's bought police cars from Inonso cars. He's bought he's bought a fleet of cars from Inonso cars for the police to use. Great. That's what we need to see. But we still need that same governor to build infrastructure in the state, to make sure that there's healthcare, to make sure there's electricity, all of these things. And of course, finally, I want to talk about Dino. Dino is going around. You will see in his house, Ferraris, Rolls Royce, all of this stuff. You are being a fool. Dino is being a complete fool. Every time you drive those cars in Nigeria on the bad roads, you are giving Rolls Royce free publicity. You are giving Ferrari free publicity. You are giving free publicity that that should be better used supporting Inonso cars. As a senator of Nigeria, of that Federal Republic of Nigeria, you should be promoting everything, all things and anything about Nigeria. So Inonso cars, the best new cars, the fast cars that they have, that Inonso are producing, you should be promoting it. So I will go and talk about that later on. I will go a bit more into more detail as to why this is important. But anyway, I will talk about that later on. Listen, I'll stop now. Join me later on. I'm not quite sure when. Probably between 2 and 4, maybe something like that, or maybe slightly earlier. But thank you all very much. I'll talk soon. Bye bye.